Okay, so here we go. Hey, this has been a great week. One of the things, last week I know we talked about Atlanta. Our meeting, our senior leader meeting in Atlanta, and it was great. And this week, um, I had a session with Glenn Williams, our CEO, and Peter Snyder, our president. And I just told them, I just wanted to talk to them about a few things. But man, they took an hour and just man, guys, we are so blessed to have the leadership that we have in our company. These guys, they're the real deal. They're servants, and and I told them, I said, listen, I have no doubt. I mean, when I sat in that meeting, Jill and I sat in that meeting in Atlanta, you have no doubts that they're pulling out all the stops to help all of us grow our companies, and so it's really incredible. Had a good session with them this week. But anyway, the month of January, we got 2 weeks left. From next Tuesday. Next Tuesday will be 2 weeks out. We are going to do an abbreviated session today. And it's well, basically, I'll just go ahead and tell you. So I had COVID basically over a year ago, right? And so anyway, I had it for 12 days. Man, it took me down for 12. Had basically low grade fever for 12 days. Did not feel good at all. But anyway, so everything's been fine. But then yesterday morning, day before yesterday, I was just real tired. So yesterday morning, I got up and went to the doctor's office, and I felt like I had the crud, like the flu or something. And so they did the flu test, and then they did the COVID test, and they said, "Man, you got COVID again." So anyway, I got to sip on something here. So basically, I'm not going to really do my part this morning. So we will have an abbreviated session, but I'll be doing mine next week. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it over to Jill, and she's got some good things to talk about. Come on, baby.
Okay. We've gone to one chair here. I guess he's got to go have coughing. If y'all had seen him yesterday, he really was sick or kind of looked like he had the flu. And now he looks already so much better today. So anyway, I've just had a couple of things I was going to share. I was going to work a little more on this talk, but real quickly, I just wanted to start with, thinking about what we do for people. We talk about our crusade a lot. And I know that was one of the things that really hit me when we got in the business was, after David delivered his first death claim, you really do kind of realize the impact of that. And sometimes these things hit really close to home in a bad way. I have a really good friend. I would say probably one of my best friends. It's a non-Primerica person. She and I are like sisters. And her son is married with 2 kids and really good friends with our daughter, Lauren, and her husband, Walt. And he's been talking to Walt. He knew Walt's in real estate, but that he was licensed with us. And he kept telling him for 2 years, he goes, "Man, I need to get a policy. Need to get a policy." And he told Walt, and I think around Thanksgiving, he said, I'm going to come see you in January. I'm going to get I need some life insurance. Walt said, "That'd be great. I'd be happy to help you." And he found out in December that he's got stage 3 cancer. And they took out 4 lymph nodes, and they all had cancer in them. And, those are not stories we like to think about, but I think we love the securities business. I look at securities numbers and how they're growing and exploding. And I think securities is great. I mean, obviously something we need to do. It's definitely part of what we do to help families. But, if you don't do the bookends, I mean, if you don't, that foundation of the house, is that providing an instant estate if something happens too soon. And now that guy, he's uninsurable, right? He's uninsurable. So, every family, I can't imagine if you've got 1 or 2 kids not needing at least $1 million. If you think about $1 million policy. And, the wonderful thing about our business, if they can't afford it, man, recruit them. Give them a part-time opportunity to make extra money and get that foundation in place while you build the wealth. So anyway, that was just a reminder that hit close to home for me. I'm having lunch with her next Friday, and man, it's sad. But a friend of mine, I had lunch with a friend this last week, and she gave me this book. It's just a daily deal that you read. And when I read this, I said, I've got to share this with our team, with our guys and gals, but it might not mean anything to anybody but me, but it really hit me because this is true. I mean, I'm 62 years old now. I know how life kind of works sometimes, and sometimes things get a little hairy. It doesn't matter if you make $100,000 a year or $2 million a year, right? Life can get hard and challenging at times. But if you don't mind, I'm going to read it to you. It'd be easier than trying to tell you about it. It says, have you ever heard a plane break the sound barrier? About 768 miles per hour. That's how fast you have to outgo the speed of sound itself. Modern planes do it pretty easily, but around World War II, scientists and engineers thought Mach speeds might be impossible in a manned aircraft. Their hesitance had everything to do with what happened at 767 miles an hour. Just before a plane breaks the sound barrier, all the created energy is pushing against the plane. Think of riding an old rickety roller coaster in the midair. All the shaking, jerking, and rattling made more than a few pilots throttle back. When we're chasing our dreams, all the turbulence we face shouldn't scare us into pulling back, though. The shaking, jerking, and rattling in our lives are telling us we're getting close to a breakthrough. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen people in our business on the edge of a breakthrough, and it's when they throttle back and a lot of them end up quitting. If there's anything to fear, often it's pulling back, not pressing forward. Is fear of failure holding you back from breaking your personal barriers? We talked last time I shared on training, just talked about, this year and how, every year I love these fresh starts. I don't always finish everything I plan to do in January, but I certainly every year I have great intentions, right? You might be at 767 miles an hour. Throw the throttle down, because once you pass through fear produced by the rattling, you'll find the next level experience you've been hoping for. God hopes we develop a greater fear of inaction than of failure, because then we'll experience with wide-eyed excitement what it's like to cruise doing what we were made to do. I just wanted to read that to you just as kind of a word of encouragement, but also on another note that kind of reminded me of that, I thought about, our business and the things, the breakthroughs that you have and the times experience that you have that you look back on and they're just mind-boggling. And I was reminded of it because David and I gave Emerson and Lake, they're 5 and 6 years old, Peppa Pig Monopoly games for Christmas. Okay. And y'all, it's brilliant because what they've done is they've shortened the game. How Monopoly can go like for 4 or 5 hours. I mean, you get $18, right? And the first person that goes broke ends the game, and whoever's got the most money wins. I mean, you can play a game in 15 or 20 minutes. So anyway, Tommy told me he's been playing with Lake and she's obsessed with it. And Emerson thinks she's like, some kind of real estate whiz bang now. But it reminded me of our first trip to Hawaii. And I know I've shared this before, but it's so significant. And I just want to remind myself, along with everybody else, our first trip to Hawaii, I think, was 1986, which means we would have had like a 2 and a 4-year-old. And it was a big deal. I mean, I've told y'all my story about how I'd never been anywhere except LA, Lower Alabama, right, to a peanut farm. And so here we're going to Hawaii for the first time. And I mean, it was amazing. But, we're here, we're at this Primerica meeting. Well, it's A.L. Williams meeting at the time. And it's all about learning to grow your business, and you're competitive and you're listening to all the speakers. But then right in the middle of some random day, one afternoon, there was an optional family and marriage workshop. And David and I went. And all they did was show this James Dobson video called Turn Your Heart Toward Home. And at the end of this video, he shared a story about Monopoly and talked about how that his family had a really heated game going, and he'd kind of been a bad sport because he ended up owning all the expensive properties, and he had like money stuck in all these pockets, right? And anyway, at the end of the game, he was just so excited as the last person landed on his park place or boardwalk and had to give up all their money and went bankrupt, right? And the family said, look, okay, you've been such a bad sport and this has been such a long marathon game. You get to put the game up. So he's sitting there and he said he's taking money out of all of his pockets and, putting everything back in the box. And he said he felt like it was just like that still small voice said, I want you to pay attention. I'm going to teach you a lesson. And so here we are at this business meeting, right? And I'm this new little mom and we're just figuring out how to build a business. And he said, the lesson, God said, don't ever forget that at the end of this life, it all goes back in the box. There are no U-Hauls behind the hearse, right? And we all know that. But what I was going to say is just to encourage you. What I love about our business, and I've been here a long time, guys, is we're in the people business. People aren't things. And we were sitting up front at that leadership meeting in Atlanta, and it was David on the aisle, and then me and Mike Landrum. And we're sitting there, and I don't remember if it was a break or right before meeting started. And Kelly Case came up and brought us all a bottle of water and some peppermints. Wasn't sure if that was like some kind of subtle hint there or whatever. And he just dropped it off. He goes, man, I just want to thank y'all. Just a little thank you, he said, for pouring into my life and helping me. Guys, that's what we get to do. And that's really what leadership is. And we really, between the people business and putting that foundation in place for people and helping people save money, guys, we've got a great opportunity, not a good opportunity. We've got a great opportunity, a vehicle that works. And, like I said, David's ability, David's strength so many times is one-on-one. You can put me at a podium, give me a few days to prepare. You put me one-on-one with some people, and I'm telling you, I'm at a loss for words. I'm not necessarily good one-on-one, but David is. Find your strength, apply it this year, grow your business, go to the next level. And I'm proud to be in business with you guys. I'm looking forward to listening to Llewellyn. Here's Dave.
Okay, Jill, don't go too far away because you may have to introduce Llewellyn if I start coughing again. Hey, my message about COVID is I felt bad yesterday. I was tired the day before. Yesterday, I felt bad. And but then I woke up this morning and I feel better. I feel like not 100%, but it's not as bad as the first round. So if that might encourage you somewhat, but because I wasn't even going to share today, but then I woke up and I said, wow, man, I really feel 100% better than I did yesterday. So thank the Lord for that. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today was, a couple of things that really changed my business back in the early days. And we were on the Gulf Coast, and our base shop, we were doing about 15 apps a month, on the bookends on term insurance. And I just took an afternoon. I said, man, what is wrong? We've got people, right? But we just aren't hitting it. I mean, we're just not doing that. And then, so anyway, that afternoon, I had an idea. And I took the afternoon off, I stayed at the office, and I said, okay, what would, when I did my best here, what was I doing? And, that's a great question that we all could ask ourselves. And anyway, at the end of that day, I came up with an idea. I implemented it, right? And folks, we went from doing 15 apps that month, okay, to the next month, we did 60 term apps for 3 months in a row, and then went to regional vice president. And anyway, I'm going to kind of share with that next week, and a couple of things adjustments we made that really helped us there. I do want to promote the $49 IBA, okay, that we've got this month. That's a big deal. I also, want to just encourage all of us, man, to build, right? Hey, we need to focus on these, right? If you're not an RVP, man, let's get you to RVP, and here's what you got to do to get there. Get with your VP and figure it out, these promotion guidelines, and let's go make it happen. Hey, well, Llewellyn, let me find him on here because he was late getting on. Jill, you may, let's see, hang on. Llewellyn, there he is. Okay, so I'm going to make him a co-host. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, is he? Okay, make co-host. Okay. Okay. Llewellyn, I think you're a co-host now and should be able to unmute and share screens, whatever. Hey, also want to promote our leadership retreat. I thought Jill was going to talk about that. Did you didn't talk about it? I forgot. Yeah, she forgot. Okay. February 4th weekend, we've got 80 slots available. So anyway, if you want to come, as a matter of fact, I saw this yesterday. We did a expansion seminar back years ago. And so, you know, I came up with kind of an outline. I'm going to pattern February 4th weekend off of this, what we did years ago, promoted a bunch of RVPs out of that weekend. So anyway, that's the goal. But Llewellyn Gray, man, I have seen Llewellyn grow so much. We housed together for a long time, and he's first generation of my brother Mike. But Llewellyn's just an incredible young man, and man, he's out there. He's going to talk about the 7 fundamentals. I've seen him grow. Now he's a RVP, 6-figure earner. He is such a student of the business. This guy reads and reads. He just focuses on getting better and improving. And you watch what this young man builds. And again, Llewellyn, I appreciate you taking the time. He's going to kind of wrap us up today. He's going to take 20 minutes and go through the 7 fundamentals. So Llewellyn, I'll turn it over to you, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, David, for having me come on here. You know, and I think the whole, what's the formality that we usually use upon getting on? Well, first, I want to thank God. No, I'm just joking. But first off, every time that I, get an opportunity to address anyone about this business here, I tell myself, and I'll tell you all now, I do my best here to make sure that that I give a nugget or two that has blessed me because, I grew up here, started out here being 19 years old in college, down at USM and wanting to start my own business or something. And coming here, I'm gonna be honest, coming from where I came from, I didn't see too much of a strong family unit, didn't see, people, walking in integrity that much, didn't see people exercising their faith, etc. And so coming here, learning just the nuances associated with being a Christian man, that's my belief here, not trying to put that on you, etc. It's just always been a blessing to me. So I say, you know what, whenever I get a chance, I'm gonna make sure that I do the best I can to do what you all have done for me, throughout these years. All right. So real quick. All right. So started here 19. All right. Was afraid of talking to people, afraid of rejection, afraid of everything, the unknown, everything associated with, going, just think about this, y'all, going 100% commission. Now, y'all hear me? We 100% commission out here. Looking if you're full time for that matter, and with of course the chances of building a sales force that will aid in us getting residual income, as well as building a client base that would develop that can develop into a residual income, etc. So the idea of being able to get to that point is a beautiful idea, but see, one of the things that I realized wholeheartedly, especially in the beginning, was that I didn't have the attributes naturally. I didn't have the skills associated with being in a position where I could be a leader like a David Landrum coming up in this business and killing the game, going from what he just say, a 16 app base shop. I wasn't doing 16 apps in a year. Y'all follow me? Saying, let alone doing 16 a month, then knocking out 60 over 3 months, a month for 3 months at a time. So I said, all right, cool. Okay. I got excited like a lot of people do. I got excited here and I just saw the vision and I quit my job. Look, check this out now. 21 years old, quit my job. I quit college. I quit everything and planted my flag here and say, you know what? I'm gonna learn this business right here. I'm gonna take those because I wasn't just the best of all students either. By the way, I did have a 1.8 GPA. I was on academic probation. I said I quit college, but I really didn't really quit for real, for real. They was gonna put your boy out. You know, they was like, come back next semester. I don't know what the process is, but I just didn't go back. And so I said, you know what? And I want y'all to be thinking about this too, man. If I go back to school and put in some energy and effort into learning something, because we go to college so we can get the training necessary to, develop a career. And so I said, you know what? I was a sorry student anyways. I'm gonna take that same approach. I'm gonna take a better approach this go around, and I'm going to learn this business by making sure I show up at everything. Make sure I put I take notes every single time I'm at a meeting. I'm gonna make sure that I'm one of the first ones there, last one to leave. Take the approach that I, used to take in my athletic career when I was playing high school basketball, being a 5'8", slow, non-athletic guy that still was able to play on the team and things of that nature. I used to have to do that. So real quick here, man. I ain't gonna tell you all too much of what to do, but just some how-tos, because that's just how I think. I hear a lot of what to do all the time here. And they're like, just go talk to people. You can do it. I'm like, what you say though? Hey man, I'm scared, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to do, man. Like, okay, now he's here. She's here. How do we get them going? Like, what I supposed to say? Okay, they said they want to think about it. What I'm supposed to do then? What they say they don't talk to people. No, I don't want to. No, you cannot come to my house. No, I don't want to get on Zoom with you. What do we do? Okay, all right, check this out. All right, when I play ball, there are fundamentals to the game. You don't go out playing basketball trying to dribble behind your back, shooting fancy shots and stuff. No, you learn the fundamentals of the game. You learn how to dribble right hand, then you dribble left hand and all that. If you think about it, if you look at our scholastic endeavors, no pun intended there, being that, I wasn't the best at that. K through 12, all right, when you start off, they teach you how to write first, they teach you your ABCs, then it's a progression of skills. And so if you look at it here in Primerica, when I saw the great Hector Lamarck, $4 million earner here with our firm, you know what I mean? When he broke it down, he put it like far as fundamentally, like, okay, start there, then go here and all. I'm like, all right, I'm with you. I can do it. That makes sense right there. So perfectly, this makes sense to you all, what I'm gonna cover here with you today. All right, so real quick. All right, check this. I can share my screen. Yeah, I think I'm a co-host, so check this out. All right, so first thing first, all right, came here, floundered for quite some time, just to be honest with you, floundered. All right, and so, but this stuff here just made sense to me, and I decided that I'm gonna, do whatever I got to do here, wholeheartedly. David's brother, Mike Landry, my direct RVP, told me one day. He said, I went RVP 2013, went up to a $50,000 income and, kind of floundered there, then fell back down, did all that type of stuff. But Mike changed the game for me when I was like, because, you got people got all these different systems, how they do it and all that type of stuff. And they'll get up on something like this and say, if you're not doing this, you're crazy. And if you're not doing all that, and it'll make you do everything that everybody who say that do it. And so I just was like, all right, Mike. Out of all how many codes you got, Mike? Mike said, I got 2,500 codes at the time, licensed agents. And I said, all right, how many of them got the ring? 6 figure income. He said it right off back, 25. I said, 25? I said, man, that's 1%. And it made sense to me right then. It clicked in my head. I said, okay, check this out. You tripping if you think that you don't have to really be good. David, get up here and be on here acting like he just regular. Man, that man ain't regular. That man is not regular, man. That man is good for real. Like everybody else, I see some ring earners. I see some folk over here. Man, look, let's get this situated. If you won't be in the top 1% of anything, you think you ain't got to be good. That makes no sense, man. Like in anything, David is cold. He's great at leadership. He's great at that stuff he pointed out and said that the 5-point system that he talks about, setting appointments, thinking right and doing all the stuff. Man, come on, man. So look, man, when he said that, I said, man, I'm finna get as great as I possibly can. I'm finna put the work in, learn these fundamentals with the first Three popped up here. Number one, got to get your prospecting on, okay? All right, prospecting is real simple here. You know, it's basically talking to folk with the intent of developing a client referral base or a recruit, some combination of the three. That's all prospecting is. All right, but then you got to go to fundamental number two, which is setting appointments. What do you say in order to set appointments? There's scripts that I'm sure regional vice president have. So I found the ones that I was like, you know what? I like this script right here. And I'm going to take this script and I'm going to go get in the mirror. David probably remembers. I used to be up there early in the morning. I found out because, you know, I was clustering with David and I was like, what time? David made 1.5, man. And David shouldn't beat me to the office if I'm making 50 at the time. You see what I'm saying? That makes no sense to me. So I said, oh, no, partner. I'm going to beat you to the office. What time he get there? He get there about 9. Every day, though. It's every day. So I said, okay, my regimen, I got to get to the office. So I got the scripts in the morning. I get those scripts, and I practice the scripts in the mirror, man. All right, so you get the scripts down, you know how to set appointments, and then upon learning how to set appointments, you have to be able to get kneecap to kneecap with people and do an effective presentation. All right, now I think there's a big difference between an effective presentation and one that's just a presentation. I think people say you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. That's a lie. You can say the wrong thing to the right person. All right, because let me tell you something. I've been married now 12 years, been with the same woman for 15 years. She's the right person. But if I'm trying to set the mood, fellas, and I go in there, I can say the wrong thing. And it could be all messed up, man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe that, man. I don't believe that. So you got to get the script down, man. You got to know what you're talking about out here. You got to be able to ask questions. So effective presentation is a question-oriented presentation that leads people to become a client, recruit, refer, or some combination of the three. Find one that works for you and rock with it and go get it. I put together one for my team, of course, a presentation of me asking questions, okay? All right, you know, doesn't make sense. So if I can show you a way, Mr. and Mrs. Client, to be able to, get the coverage that you told me that you want, right? All right, and then I can be able to show you how to cut costs. All right, and I bring a proposal back that's associated with that. Do you see any reason why you wouldn't go ahead with my recommendation? You see what I'm saying? And so see, that's a question that leads them to potentially become a client or whatever. They say, no, okay, cool, then I ain't coming back. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I can't get no commitment there. All right. So, but y'all see what I'm saying? You got to have a question-oriented presentation. But then upon, talking to them, they're going to have objections. Like, let me think about it. Especially those Christian folk out there. Lord Jesus, man, I want to pray about it. You see what I'm saying? The Lord didn't tell me that, man. You got to be able to overcome them objections. All right. I've been saying, you need to pray about it. Well, let's pray. I said, we're gonna pray now or what? What you trying to do? You see what I'm saying? But you got to be able to overcome objections. I've listened to Hector Lamarck's Overcome an Objection Ordeal, and I do have it pulled up. But look, if you see the plays on it over here, man, I've listened to it over 6,000 times. Y'all see what I'm saying? We got to get better at it, man. You got to know what you say. All right, then you have to know the products enough to be able to show people the benefit associated with ours as opposed to staying with it. I just got done, helping a family this week, actually, yesterday. We was able to close a military guy. The military guys, man, they be having allegiance to VGLI and whatever is somebody that stamp a military or American flag on it, they down with it, okay? But VGLI, man, ain't nothing but a Prudential life insurance, which is basically a 5-year renewable term, and you got to know how to do it. So you got to know the product so well that they can see the benefits associated with going here. So this guy was paying right at about $400 a month for $900K, and I was able to give him $1 million for $416, right? But I also was able to show him that in 2 years, the price of his coverage is going to double. You see what I'm saying? All right. And so you got to know the products. All right. Then, of course, recruit across the kitchen table. Upon showing someone the benefits associated with getting going here with us from a client standpoint, I think it's advantageous then to show them the benefits associated with coming to work here with us. Okay. All right. Recruit across the kitchen table, fast start orientation. However you do your fast start, the main thing is you keep the main thing. It's about building trust. Okay. You got to get that new recruit to trust you enough to put together a list of prospects. Right. All right. And then you got to teach that new recruit how to set appointments so that y'all can go together in their market and do an effective presentations with their cousins, overcome the objections of the cousins, get them folk started on our products and services, recruit some of those folk, and then all of a sudden get that stuff back going over and over again. So when I saw this right here, this is a progression of skills that made sense to me. All right. So I said, you know what? I can work on prospecting. Okay. All right. I can start, learning, getting some ideas, seeing what prospecting look like. I can learn how to set appointments. We can do all that. There's plenty of audios and things of that nature. But if you ain't doing what you got to do, then I think then you are in trouble. All right. So with that being said, David wanted me to cover this, give an example. Right. All right. So I'm going to do that. And I'm gonna give an example, and then but check this out. I'm gonna be a little bit more detailed for you because that's just how my brain thinks. Check this out. All right, now I'm full time here. I believe in order to I just recently was blessed to be able to get the 100K on a ring. It take a long time for them rings to come too, man. God dog, man, who did it in what October? Man, I still ain't got my ring, man. I'm gonna slap somebody, man. I'm gonna fly out to Atlanta or something, man. It's crazy. But anyways, check this out. For the longest, I didn't know what to do, what should my day look like, even if you're part-time. Hey, man, if you're not prospecting, if you're not doing the activity, you can go to the office all day. You can go to work all day and then get off work. And if you ain't doing none of this stuff right here, it's just it's really tough to say that you're working, you know what I'm saying? And so this is coming from straight out of Primerica has a 90-day calendar thing, where you can kind of keep up with your activity. So I just I just ran a copy of it. So every week I keep up with my activity. Okay. So I heard David say that he was looking at his business and man, what was I doing, to know what? All right, check this out, man. If you got a business or a bodybuilder or somebody operating on a high level, man, they keep track, man. They keep a detailed record of what they got going on, man. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. So if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're doing. This is the weekly activity to earn $100,000 a year income. Okay. I said, cool. I want to make 100. Because I found out here in this business, it's only so long I can point at David Lambs and be like, he made 1.5 for my team or people who I'm trying to court to come look at this business to want to believe in it. You see what I'm saying? I just can't keep pointing at David. They eventually want to know what you're doing, what you're making and all that. So that's why I think we as leaders, especially our RVPs, it behooves us to make sure that we're out here being an example worth duplicating by making sure that we getting our King Leonidas on. You feel me? If you saw 300, he led from the front, man. You know what I mean? So if you look here, prospects, get you 20 prospects a week. You make 100 calls a week, but check this out. If you do 10 interviews, 10 invites to the overview and do 8 KTs, you'll get 1 IBA, 3,000 in premium, 25,000 in investors. So basically you do 8 appointments. We've heard 8, 5, 3, 1. So I was like, man, so you mean to tell me I got to go out here and talk to folks down like that? No, not necessarily. That's one avenue, in my opinion. I do absolutely no cold market prospecting. All my stuff is through referrals and through field training new recruits, etc. So if you do a good solid job, in my opinion, on your serving clients, I think it's just a plethora of referrals that you will continue to get on the regular. All right, so check this out. This is what I have for y'all. All right, so you see this sheet right here, right? Now, look, you see this guy right here? This guy name is Anthony Iannarino, all right? He's the author of those 3 books that he has in his hand. That's called The Only Sales Guide You'll Ever Need, The Lost Art of Clothing, whatever, and I think Eat Their Lunch. He does a sales blog. Check this out. Salesblog.org. He puts up a blog every day, son. You see what I'm saying? This guy incredible. And check this out. This is what I want to read to y'all, man, because I think this is, because prospecting is number one. If you ain't prospecting, what happens when you sign up all your warm market or you recruit everybody, you feel like you ain't got nothing to do, nobody left. You feel me? All right, let me read this to y'all. This is from This is from February 21st, 2011. This is a rather old blog that he put up, but it's one of my favorites. Every time that I'm feeling like stuff ain't going the way it need to be going for me, I go back to this and I'll be like, yep, Luke, it's your fault. It's your fault. Let's look at what you're doing. Let's look at what you're doing, man. Check this out. It says it's called the routine maintenance of prospecting. I ain't gonna read all of it, but you're gonna read your one little paragraph. Check this out. It says the laws of the sales universe are such that the more desperate you are, look at this, to fill your pipeline with new opportunities, the more difficult it is to achieve that outcome. Y'all have been desperate trying to get somebody to do business. Folk can tell, man. It's just tacky, ain't it? It just ain't attractive. The routine maintenance of building, check this out, and maintaining your sales pipeline is daily prospecting. No opportunity is ever closed that isn't first opened. Check this out. And you must continually open new relationships. It is an activity that to produce great results needs to be approached as a daily disciplined routine. Okay. Prospecting sporadically produces stress, miscommitments, and the desperation that leads to taking something less than your dream client, people who ain't in the right market. You know, those 3-pointers, those 2-pointers, those one for the kids that, you know, no offense, they stay home with their mom, ain't trying to do nothing. You see what I'm saying? All right, but look, the power of prospecting day after day, week after week, and month after month is that it produces a pipeline of opportunities. Y'all follow me on that? All right, so that's a great. I highly recommend that you check that one out. So look, going back to what the day should look like. All right, now I'm talking from the perspective of someone that's full time. Okay, all right. So me being full time, y'all heard getting to the office early, same time every day, right? You know, doing that, and then I write out my days. I asked everybody what they're using now here. I've been using the paper stuff going. All right, but look, I have 3 times of the day for prospecting calls because I got to hit my 100 calls a week. I got to do my 8 appointments a week, right? All right, let me tell you the times to catch them. In the morning, 8 to 9, you can catch people. They'll answer the phone on their way to work and doing stuff like that. I don't know why, they just do. All right, check this out. 12 to 1. That's why I call them make prospecting calls. Y'all follow me? 12 to 1. That's doing what? People's what? Their lunch hour. That's when folk are relaxed. They got some food going. They going to the, get something to eat or something like that. And then here's the other one. From 4:30 to 6 o'clock. From 4:30 to 6 o'clock. That's the last time. I don't call anyone after 6 o'clock. And especially women, I'm a guy, I don't call women after 6. And I seldomly take their calls after 6 too, just out of, hey man, I'm just trying to keep that confusion down. I ain't trying to have nothing out the way. You feel me? So, but 4 to 6, you know what I mean? That's it. Now look, think about it. 25 phone calls a day, Monday through Thursday. That's 100 phone calls. That's 100. You can do 5 of them in the morning, 5 of them in lunch, and do what? 10 to 15, 10 to 15, 10 to 15 from 4:30 to 6. And then looks, and then I always try to do a 6:30 and a 7:30 Zoom KT. That's it. That's the ideal day for me, man. Monday through Thursday, if I can give me 2 of them KTs in. Friday evenings, I'm not doing KTs. I'll take my wife out. We do something to go eat. Saturday morning, I'm here early in the morning, and I'm doing a Saturday train. We just got done from 9 to 10. We did that, hopped on here, and then, do some appointments up until about 1 or 2. But then I do personal development. I read, practice, and all that, all the way to 5. Family time Sunday, I don't see no Primerica stuff or anything for that matter until 6 o'clock Sunday evening when I make my call list out for the week. Call list out for the week. I put my plans down, who I need to follow up with. We look at the past week, we do all that, and we look at this, we look at our sheet, we look at our activity sheet, and see who we need to follow up with and all that. Routine stuff. Y'all follow what I'm saying there? All right, now, so check this out. So upon doing it, all right, and I'll leave you guys with this. He told me 20. All right, so I think I did, 15 so far. All right, so look. So with that being said, check this out. Now, example wise, okay, and I just got done going over this with my teammates here from the training that we just got done doing. Now check this out. Now is this called the art of asking for permission? All right. Now I have clients, recruits, etc., people that I followed up with for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Okay. Now this guy here that I did his coverage last month. I followed up with him for 10 years. He was a colonel. I'm here in the Metro Jackson area. He was a JROTC instructor. He retired. He's a retired military guy. Been knowing him for 10 years. Following up with him for 10 years. But the only way you can follow up with someone longer than 10 days without being annoying, without getting on their nerves, is if you ask properly for permission. Okay. All right. Now, so the first time I did a presentation with him, I wasn't really good at it, just to be honest. And he just said no. He looked at him and said, "Hey, man, keep doing your thing. But no, I don't know. I'm good, man. I'm straight. All right. Go ahead on. Yeah, it's over with." All right. I had just heard Hector Lamarck talk about this on audio. And he just said, "Hey, whenever they tell you no." See, I used to be like, "Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you for your time." I used to get out of there and go lick my wounds. Okay. But this is what you say when somebody say no to you. You say, "Okay, great. Well, look, obviously I see that the timing isn't right for you right now, but is it okay with you? Is it if I follow up with you, let's say 6 months or so down the line, just to check in to see if anything has changed?" Usually most people have a problem with telling folk no. So when they get the courage up to tell you no, they will easily come right up under that and agree to a follow-up way down the line. All right. So they say, so usually 99% of the time they say yes. So when they say yes to that, what you do is, all right, come on, my man right here saying that routine follow-up game. All right. That's what separate the detail, the small thing. My favorite book ever, where John went on leadership, man. Read this book 32 times. He said it ain't no big things. It ain't no excitement one day and everything just gonna be like, "Oh man, it's so great." No, man, he said just small things done consistently over a long period of time. Check this out. When they say that, take your phone, right? Look, look, I got somebody coming up today. Call Mario. Call this guy named Mario. All right. Put it in your phone and set the reminder for 6 months from today. So you can be a man of your word, a woman of your word. Right. So I set it up 6 months from today. And when it goes off, I see it. Let's call Colonel Brown. That's one of my phone calls for that day. Call them. And when they answer, this is what you say. If they leave a voicemail, it don't matter. I say the same thing because I'm going through the numbers if you think about it. So call Colonel Brown. "Hey, man, hey, Colonel Brown, what's going on? This is Llewellyn giving you a call back as promised. Hey, man, I'm just doing my due diligence on the follow-up side, looking to just, check your temperature, so to speak, to see if you warmed up to the idea of taking a look at that program that I talked to you about, or even if you feel like the juice still ain't worth the squeeze, maybe you know somebody or two that you can be able to, a guy or two that you can point me in the direction of. How we looking? And and whatever they say. So I've been doing that with that dude for 10 years, man. 10 years. So last month, man, the dude said, yeah. He like, "Man, you know what? I've been thinking I need some life insurance." So got him, close him up, boom, right? All right, so check this out. So this what happened so as far as example-wise, this what happened yesterday, this week. So he gets his policy in the mail, right? All right. And so I'm looking at my activity sheet. I'm like, "Man, I need some activity up in this thing. What am I gonna do?" So he hits me up like, "Hey, man, I got my policy in the mail. They say I need to sign something, get it to you." I said, "Well, great. Check this out. Bring the policy to work." Because I know he at work. I want to. Mike Landrum always talks about playing in traffic. I say, "Bring the policy to work, and I come up there and I just get the paperwork." He said, cool. So Tuesday comes around. I go over there to now. So check this out. He used to just be a JROTC instructor. Now he's the JROTC coordinator. He's over all the JOTC instructors in the Jackson area right here for Jackson Public Schools. So I goes down to his office and I'm over here and I'm just, talking to him, whatever, we'll do whatever. So get his paperwork. He said, hey, I got this guy right here who reports direct to me. His name, da-da-da. He introduced me to the guy, and I used form. David Landrum, Mike Landrum, all of them been teaching us this for years. But the F stands for where they're from and where they're in their family. The O stands for their occupation. R stands for, recreation, and the M is your message. So I asked him where he's from. Found out the dude from Holmes County, around here in Mississippi. I have one of my best part-time guys. He's from, he said, man, I know that guy, man. This is my guy. I tell him, man, no. Oh, that's a connection. All right. And then I found out, man, I went to the University of Southern Mississippi. He lived in Hattiesburg forever. He was down there. Ironically, his son played basketball. My high school basketball coach was his son's basketball coach. And ironically, check this out. I spoke in front of the basketball team that his son was on. So, I saw the picture. I was like, oh, man, I remember this dude. I was lying, man. I ain't remember the dude. But, but all in all, I asked him about his family and where he's from, did all that stuff. So we hit it off, right? All right, so check this out. Before I was about to get ready to leave, and then he was like, man, you know what? He said, so he's like, yeah. He said, what you doing with Colonel Brown here? I said, man, look, man. Oh man, nothing. I just got through knocking out his, helping him out with his life insurance and his investments. He said, for real? He's like, well, what company with? I said, with Primerica, man. And he was like, oh, man, I used to be with Primerica. I tried the business back in 2001. They was doing these mortgages and all this, da. So talked a little bit there. And he said, man, you know what? He said, man, he said, you got a minute? Can you can you look at something for me? I said, actually, man, I'm running late for another. I got to be somewhere. And I got another meeting I got to get to, man. So, man, no, I may have to get back, which I'm going to be honest with y'all. I ain't have nowhere to go. Y'all see what I'm saying? I ain't have no other meetings. I ain't have no nothing. All right. And so, and he was like, well, and I said, well, look, let me get your contact information. I got his contact information. I said, you know what? I looked at my phone. I said, man, you know that my appointment just got moved back a little bit. I got a minute. Long story short, this guy had some VGLI, right? He had some VGLI life insurance where he's a 52-year-old. Hold on. He's a 52-year-old. He has some VGLI life insurance. And long story short here, the guy, he was paying, he told me he's paying right about $500 for his life insurance. I made mention of that already. He had $500K somewhere with his other company, and he, had allegiance to these guys, of course. Most military dudes do. So long story short, I asked him some questions. I took down his information, and I said, well, look, this is the question I got for you, brother. If I can show you a way where you can cut costs, get more value, and be in a situation where you can protect what it is you're looking to protect for your family, do you see any reason why you wouldn't go ahead with my recommendations upon us getting back together here? He said, no, man, I don't see no reason. Okay, cool. All right. So I went and did my research, of course, and I recommend if you're not familiar with, VGLI, just typing in on Google, it'll take you to va.gov. And even on VGLI, it breaks down what it is. It's underwritten by Prudential, like you heard me mention before. And on top of it all, you can go here and see exactly how much they got to pay. Remember I told you it's a 5-year renewable term? All right, dude, 52 years old. So look, I printed this out. I brought it back to him that Friday, yesterday. And I had his quotes, printed out and all that stuff. But he was a bit impressed by the fact that I was able to go right here. I said, well, look, now I know you got $400K because, they cap it off at $400,000. It's the maximum they can amount they can get. I said, look, bro, you paying $132 a month now, right? But look, man, in 2 years, hey, man, it's going to go to $240, man. I said, well, look, bro, when you hit 60, it's going to go to $396, man. I said, man, how you feeling about that? He was like, man, it's crazy. He was like, man, hey, man, I got to get rid of it. I can't do this right here. I said, cool. Well, the question I got for you, brother, notice I'm not just jumping on them, I'm not just talking, I'm asking questions, effective presentation, and, leading them to a solution that makes sense for he and his family, right? So I said, look, bro, if I can show you a way, man, when you can at least have your premiums locked in, man, same rate for 20 years. Because you ain't even locked in for the next 2. If I can show you how I can be locked in for at least 20 years, you will roll with my recommendations, right? He said, man, yeah, what you got? And then, so I was able to, bust his quote down for him, had it there. He was paying for, right at $500. I gave him, and he had 955K. So I showed him what 955 would look like for him. So we did the 398 for him yesterday. And then on top of it, he said, man, let's just bump it to $1 million. So I was able to get it at right about 417. He was, locked in. He's excited about it. And then look, he gave me a referral. That's a prospect on the prospecting sheet. That on the prospecting sheet. And so he said, man, you need to talk to my daughter. My daughter's super ambitious. She would love to do something like this, etc. And so we was able to get a prospect for us. So now it's going on my tally. I wrote it down. I put it in my little reminder deal. Y'all see what I'm saying? And I'm set to call them today at 11:30. You see what I'm saying? Because say she's gonna be in town and whatever. I ain't gonna meet with her. We're just gonna probably hop on Zoom. And then we're gonna go from there. Y'all follow me? But so all in all, knock out those, be just studious around knocking that stuff out. And I think that if you do that, go listen to the audios. That's Marvin Gaye. Never mind. Listen to the right stuff. And Marvin Gaye.
Hey, Llewellyn. Hey, speaking of the audios, where do you think the best place for people to go to listen to audios on the 7 fundamentals?
Well, of course, Mike has, we got the app right now where you can go listen to whatever piece of information that you want to listen to. But I think, man, me personally, I go to this website right here, and I go to HectorLamarck.com. Yeah. And you can subscribe to it, become a member. You can listen to every audio this dude has ever done. And I have the recommended reading list right here. And that's where I get a lot of my books from. Off the recommended reading list. I pretty much done read all these. That's where I learned about Anthony Anarino from, fanatical prospecting, all the stuff, coach, all that. You know what I mean? Every last one of them. So recommended reading list, and then he has all the audios you can go listen to on here. But I just say just find what works for you from a personal development standpoint and take the approach that a Tom Brady takes. Take the approach that a Jerry Rice take and all that, towards, knocking it out and stop kidding. We got to stop really, really kidding ourselves about just feeling like, hey, man, if I believe it and just think. I heard Crandall Craig, and he said this one day on stage. He said, man, you got to work like it all depends on you, but then pray like it all depends on God. I think that when we separate those two, I think that's when we be in trouble. When folks be like, I'm just going to pray God, send somebody to me, and I'm going to go to me. Man, go sit down. No, you ain't, man. It don't work like that, partner. And so,
Llewellyn, the other thing, and that's such a great point, that you got from the guy on the podcast, sporadic activity, sporadic, what'd you call it? Sporadic prospecting, right. Prospecting sporadically, that's not going to lead to anywhere. One of the things I was going to talk about today, if you talk to one person a week, right, really nothing's going to happen. Because when the magic happens is when you compress activity, you talk to more people in a shorter period of time. That's when the magic happens, because that's when you make those adjustments, you make those improvements, and those little fine-tuning adjustments. What are you doing down there, man?
I had to put, y'all ain't see it, my computer was finna die. And so I had to put it on the charger.
Okay, buddy. but he,
man, I'd be tripping.
Hey, last thing, how many books do you read? I know, because I've watched you become a student in the business, and when we were housing together, there'd be a book. You were always asking about books and all that. So how many books do you read, let's say, in a year?
Last year I read 76 books last year, and I'm trying to get to, because I heard this dude, what I'm saying, he was like, 80 to 90 books a year. And so I read 76 last year, but I ain't start off like that though. You know what I'm saying? I ain't, nothing special. You know what I'm saying? Just over time, I used to read 1 to 2 pages a day and fall asleep reading it. It's just like a muscle. You just gotta start somewhere, and over time you be able to read like that. But I try to read 50 pages a day, and I do like 20, 25 in the morning, something like that, and 20, 25 in the evening. And I carry a book with me. You know that, because you saw me doing that. And I carry a book with me everywhere I go. Like when you in Walmart or something, you know what I'm saying, standing in line, you can bust a couple pages down like that. And just setting in, and also setting it as a regimen, uninterrupted time where you can get some pages in. But yeah, so I try to read 1 to 2 books a week, depending on the size of it, if that makes sense.
And another thing is, of course, now you've got, just like on the Apple app books, like I know I'm listening to a book now, The 100-Year Life, and every day when just here you can be in the gym with your buds in, and then it lets me know, hey David, you've hit your reading goal for the day. You know what I mean? Or Blinkist, Blinkist, that app is real good for, it's more of a book summary. You get a whole book in 15, 20 minutes. They do just a summary of it. But anyway, man.
I gotta get the whole thing though, partner. But yeah, I bet, hey, do your thing, man. Hey, something better than nothing, man, in my opinion. But think about it though, we read on Facebook all day. We read everybody's statuses all day. If something go down, I was telling our team a few minutes ago, if our favorite celebrity get into it with their significant other and they screenshot the text messages, it can be 20 pictures, and we'll read every last one of them to see what they said and what happened and what's going on with them folk, man. So everybody can read something, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and you think about it, how does that impact your life? You know what I mean?
Nah, knowing is what this dude doing. Nah.
Okay, yeah. Hey Lou, man, we're just so proud of you, and and just where you're headed. The family you're building, and just we're excited about what's going to happen, because the thing about it is what you have focused on, and I've watched this happen, is become a copy worth duplicating, and you've got that now, and you're gonna because of the activity, you're gonna find people that want to take the trip with you, because they know, hey, this dude is headed somewhere, and I want to go with him and draft off of him. You know what I mean? So you're doing that, and you really, today's was great. And anyway, we'll be going again next Saturday. Jill and I hadn't put the agenda together yet, but anyway, guys, listen. Thank everyone. Lou, any final thoughts you got, Lou? Okay, brother. Okay, man. Well, listen, everybody have a great day. And if we can help you anyway, let us know. Let's roll.